Hello and welcome to another episode of AppStories. Today's episode is brought to you by Claude and Factor. I'm John Voorhees, and with me is Federico and Ticci. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Having a good time, you know. We're in the throes of fall review season. Busy season. I'm not yet sleep deprived. I'm feeling okay. But I'm starting to have that anxious, will it get finished or not feeling. But I'm trying to push it down, Federico.
Yes,
I'm trying to push that feeling down as much as I can and just sit and work and focus.
Yeah.
So.
I am not sleep deprived. I'm feeling pretty good, but I have started the daily grind of wake up, write, have lunch, write some more until 5-ish p.m. and then relax.
Yeah.
And then it starts like just basically isolating myself in my office, just writing. And shout out to Sylvia for being patient in this time of year.
Yeah.
Shout out to
everybody's family,
to our respective families for being patient with us.
Yeah, because I very often will take that time after dinner to start writing again. So yeah, for sure. Yeah. We. What do we want to talk about today? We have some follow up. I suppose.
Some follow up. Okay.
A little bit. I just wanted to thank everybody who's following MacStories deals because that has been a big success. I think that people have been enjoying the deals. If you haven't followed already, those are both accounts on Mastodon and Blue Sky. Just search for MacStories deals and you'll find them right away. As I think I mentioned last week, the more people we get following that, the more I think we'll be able to do with them. So I'm really hoping we can continue to grow that. It grew quite a bit in the last week or so. So we've got quite a few followers, and I'd like to see that get even better and bigger as we head into the holidays season. And of course, Federico, we should mention that because it's review season, there's going to be some perks coming for club members. We're going to be doing things like our annual ebooks of the reviews, which are always fun, as well as a bunch of other things, which we don't really want to give them all away. But I just wanted to remind everybody that, you can go over to plus.club and join Club MacStories, because this is probably the best time of year to do that, because you get all those perks and plus all the usual benefits as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to have a whole bunch of extra things to offer in the month of September, in addition to just the content on MacStories. And we've been working really hard behind the scenes to bring some changes to the overall experience that hopefully we'll be able to talk about soon. But enough about that. I actually think there's something else that I see in our document. Hold on. Because I do see also, John tried Notion more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. And given that it's review season, John tried Notion more means I fiddled around with it a little bit. I'm very hesitant to dive into any kind of major project right now, and Notion can be a major project. It can be kind of a hole that you dive into and don't come out of for a while. But I would say my first impressions are that I do think it's a pretty good system for podcast show notes, which is what you and I are sharing Notion for. I think my potential use for Notion, and this is one of those things where I have to think about it a lot, only because I don't want to split too much of what I do into too many different apps, especially when it comes to writing.
Right.
But I think that Notion, for me in particular, would be a good place for reference materials, just like back office MacStories stuff that we do, especially things that you and I share. Also research material, because I think the research material would allow me to kind of bring to bear some of the benefits of Notion AI. And for me, research material is kind of a transitory state. I don't really hold on to my research material forever, but having a database of that stuff might be kind of nice. But I do think I'm going to keep doing the document creation in Obsidian, because I just moved so much of my workflow is tied to Obsidian now, and having everything in plain text, and everything that I publish can be published in Markdown, so I don't have to do any conversion for that. But I do have things where I have to, maybe get rich text to put in Libsyn for show notes, or I have to convert the format to look better in YouTube, whatever it is. But those things are all based on automations that I can do quite easily from Markdown as a starting point. And I'm not super keen on getting into a situation where I have to use an API in order to move my words around from one format to another, which I really don't have to do at this point. So I don't think the actual writing is going to move, but I could see using Notion for all the other written material that I deal with.
Well, very nice, very nice. So
stay tuned, because that's the kind of thing I will probably not dig into further until October at the earliest, and maybe not until the holidays when we take another break.
Yeah, I want to see what happens here. This is gonna be interesting. All right, so today's topic is pretty. I think is the kind of thing that we do on an annual basis, which is there's an Apple event coming up, and we're gonna do an Apple event vibe check. We're just gonna be talking about the things we expect to see at the event, the things we would like to see at the event, even though maybe they're not going to happen. This is not a prediction episode. This is just a vibe check between two guys who cover this stuff for a living. And I will go first, if you don't mind, John. I think,
sure.
And I don't want to talk about the iPhone for now. I want to talk about the AirPods. I have a feeling that after a year with my beloved and trusted AirPods 4, I think I will not be able to resist the temptation of the AirPods Pro 3.
I can guarantee that you won't be able
Especially because the idea of a new audio chip, better audio quality, maybe better range, and 2 health sensors. There's rumors suggesting that the AirPods Pro 3 will be able to take your heart rate and your body temperature. I mean, that sounds very convenient, and that sounds, very useful as a thing to have, especially because I'm the kind of person who sometimes, falls asleep with an AirPod, just a single AirPod on. And I've been annoyed in recent months by, when I'm doing things around the house, and sometimes I leave my iPhone in the living room. But then if I walk to the other side of the apartment and I go to the balcony, for example, because the dogs are doing something outside, my AirPods 4 fall out of range of my iPhone in the living room because there's too much concrete walls in between, I guess. And so I mean, I like the idea of AirPods Pro 3 with more health features and with a new audio chip. And traditionally, new audio chip, there's a rumor going around that Apple is going to introduce the H3 in the AirPods 3. Usually it means better range, better capabilities for wireless performance. So I love this because they don't have the in-ear silicone tip, and it's going to be hard to get used to that again. But I do know myself that I'm not going to be able to help it. So
yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the AirPods Pro 3. My 2s still have pretty good battery life, and I really like all the new features that have been added over the last year. The transparent. See, unlike you, I actually use all the things. I listen to spatial audio. I use transparency mode. I will go out for a walk and I'll say hello to someone, and it will duck my audio and turn on the ability to hear the other person really well. I like all those things, and I like the hearing assistance too. It actually does meaningfully work in a lot of ways, and I expect though that when I see the new AirPods Pro 3, I will probably get pulled in, because there's nothing that I use more than the only thing I use more than my AirPods 3 is my iPhone, I think, in my daily Apple Gear use. And so they're always in my pocket. They're always ready to go. And I think that, I will probably want to upgrade. I don't find the health sensors that interesting to me. I'm not sure why I would care what my temperature is from my ears on a daily basis, and I've got a watch that does my heart rate already. So Those things I don't find super compelling, but I do like the idea of better sound, more distance. Although I'll tell you, I mean, you suffer from high-rise living with a lot of concrete. I don't have a lot of concrete.
Yeah,
So I
because
can leave
homes in America are made out of paper mache or something.
They're like the three little pigs that can be blown, a house out of straw that can be blown down. I I can leave my iPhone sitting on my desk and I can get to the top of the stairs on the third floor and still be listening to what's on my phone. Maybe to like switch the laundry because that is like right at the top of the stairs. But it does cut out maybe when I go to the bedrooms on either side of that. So yeah, range is always good. Maybe I'll be able to walk down to the mailbox and check my mail and leave my phone behind. I don't know. That's only like maybe 100 meters away from our house. So we'll see. We'll see. I am looking forward to the AirPods. I think the AirPods are due for an update, if only because they're such a popular product and Apple sells so many of them that it's the kind of thing that they should be paying attention to. And I think they are. So I think that we will get this one.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be an expensive fall for me in between this Apple event and potentially, another one in October with new iPads. But the idea of because I know that I'm gonna be so in for the AirPods Pro.
This episode of App Stories is brought to you by Claude from Anthropic. Claude is a next-generation AI assistant built by Anthropic and trained to be safe, accurate, and secure to help you get your best work done. I recently used Claude extensively when I was setting up MacStories Deals, which is our social channels for sharing deals with the MacStories audience. I did all sorts of things. Claude helped me both find the products and the brands that I wanted to highlight on MacStories Deals, and then it helped me build a Python script using Amazon's product API to compare that list against the API and return only the best results based on an algorithm that I designed. The thing that sets Claude apart for me is its ability to follow instructions really well, and the output is superior to other chatbots that I've used in the past. It's great if you're doing research and need to summarize a lot of data. It's great if you're scripting like I was doing with Python, or helping you develop your code if you're a developer. Claude is the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It's the collaborator that actually understands your entire workflow and thinks with you, not for you. Whether you're debugging code at midnight or strategizing your next business move, Claude extends your thinking to tackle the problems that matter. It doesn't just give you answers, it helps you think through the problem. Claude internal and external research capabilities go way deeper than just basic web search. Think comprehensive, reliable analysis with proper citation for clients, turning hours of research into mere minutes. Claude can have context from your calendar, emails, and all of your go-to tools. It's like having a central brain for all of your work. No more digging through multiple tools and documents. Ready to tackle bigger problems? Sign up for Claude today and get 50% off Claude Pro when you go to claude.ai/appstories. That's claude.ai/appstories right now for 50% off your first 3 months of Claude Pro. That includes access to all the features mentioned on today's episodes, and be sure to use all lowercase letters. Claude.ai/appstories. Our thanks to Claude for their support of the show.
I also know that my Apple Watch Ultra 1 that I stuck with, despite its horribly degrading battery life, is going to be replaced.
How horribly degraded is yours?
Doesn't even get me through a day anymore.
Oh, yeah. Mine does.
I charge it in the morning, and in the evening, it's below 20% again. Like it's done.
Boy.
It's done. And
mine's at 89%. I just checked.
Nice.
89.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which not great, but it's still okay.
Yeah. No, I am gonna be switching to the Apple Watch Ultra 3. I think I tried using the Apple Watch Series 10. I don't know. I just preferred the look of the Ultra on my wrist. Not because it's more masculine or whatever, just because I really like the flat display. And
I do too, and just that it's big. I like the
and
fact that it's a
big,
big display with
chunky,
a
it's
big battery. The battery to me is like, I don't know how anyone who uses
in the
it.
beginning it was great. Like when I got it 2 years ago,
Right,
I
right.
loved the battery. So I kind of want to go back to that.
Hard to go back for
I
that.
want to go back to that feeling of like new Apple Watch Ultra is gonna last me 2 days, and I won't have to worry about it. And I think the combination of like Apple Watch Ultra 3, potentially with more sensors, great battery, and AirPods Pro 3, and me switching back to Apple Music, that's gonna be a different topic for a different episode of App Stories. That's gonna be extra nice to have, meaning I will be able to. Maybe I'll even reconsider having cellular on the Apple Watch Ultra, which I dropped many months ago. But I don't know, having Apple Music again.
You know what? I dislike that they charge so much for it here.
Well, I mean, carriers in the US, they charge for everything. For me, it's five.
They
For
do.
me, it would be a €5 extra per month.
No, it's like $15 for
Wow.
me, which is, I mean, given the amount of data that I use, actually is outrageous.
Yeah.
Because I'll go for a run, but a lot of times what I'm listening to is already downloaded on my watch anyway. So the amount of data I get is very small. It's like text messages and notifications. But yeah, I like having the cellular because I'm the kind of person that goes outside without my my iPhone with me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
There's also going to be the Series 11, I guess, but I think both of us were Apple Watch Ultra. But
I just think like once you have the battery life of the Ultra, as long as you're okay with like the the design and the style, I think it would be impossible to go back. I don't think there's any way I could do it because even at 89% battery life on this Ultra, I think it's still probably got better battery life than your typical Series 10 at this point.
Do you think they're gonna mention the blood oxygen stuff on stage at all?
Oh yeah, I think they will.
Yeah?
I think that because you know what, I bet they're very proud of the clever workaround.
You think they're gonna mention that? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, because it's gotten enough. It was so long. It was almost 2. It was about 2 years here, I think, in the U.S. Not quite 2 years, but it's a selling point. There was enough stories, I think, out in the world that the Apple Watch in America was not as good as the Apple Watch literally anywhere else. That they will mention it. I think though that like both of us are thinking about the Apple Watch Ultra from the perspective of we have the one, and I've got a big scratch on mine, and the battery is not what it used to be. But what do you think about some of the rumored features? Because there's not a ton there. I think that the blood pressure one, even though from what the rumors say, it's like not so much an accurate blood pressure reading as much as it is your blood pressure is higher now than it was this morning kind of thing. So you can kind of like get a sense for where your blood pressure is going throughout the day without it being like a medical measurement where you'd actually want to use like a blood pressure cuff on your arm or something. But I think that is attractive to a lot of people.
I think so. I agree.
High blood pressure is such a thing for so many,
hypertension.
Many people.
I mean, yes, yeah.
And one of the things I've been thinking about that is that like, while it would be even better if it were like the equivalent of what you would get if you put a cuff on your arm and did a proper measurement, I think that it might encourage people to do things like, there are blood pressure cuffs that you can get from like Withings and other companies that work with HealthKit. And I think it might encourage people to maybe keep a better handle on their blood pressure, just because even if they're not getting precise measurements, they'll get a sense that like, oh, I tend to get higher blood pressure in the afternoon or something. I got to think about, why is that? Is it because of my diet? Is it because of stress? What are the factors that are contributing to that? And it might actually lead more people to actually do those periodic precise measurements with a cuff and overall improve their health that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been to the idea of, you got your AirPods that can take your heart rate and your temperature. Then you have the Apple Watch that can also cross-check, and your heart rate and temperature and maybe the blood pressure level. Like in those two really tiny accessories, you got a lot of health features. And I don't know, there's something powerful about that, I think.
Federico, I have a very funny story for you. When we're thinking about heart rate measurement, it just reminded me of your heart rate,
The
your
one that
heart
Mike stole
rate
from me.
strap,
Yeah.
the one that Mike
Yeah.
stole, because literally when we moved to North Carolina, I had bought not long before we moved a heart rate strap of my own, like a polar one
Mhm.
that went around, your chest,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
you use that. Yeah, yeah, and
That's what I used to
I
have.
couldn't find.
Yeah.
I I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, did Mike take
Yeah.
it? I mean, Mike hasn't been in America. He hasn't been to my
Right,
house.
right.
So,
Okay.
maybe he's sneaking around North Carolina and stealing heart rate straps all over the world and doesn't tell anybody because, he says he says
Yes.
he's going to Beverly Hills. He says he's going to California. He's actually out stealing heart rate
Yeah, I
monitors
mean,
from his
and
friends, is what he's
he's
saying.
into those things for whatever reason. I mean, do you think it's a coincidence? So we go to WWDC, my heart rate monitor disappears. In like a month later, he starts like working out and exercising and being like super buff. I don't think
Yup.
it's a coincidence. But
It's
anyway,
probably not.
it's
Well,
water under the
the
bridge, as they say, John.
the punchline is I found my heart rate strap over the weekend in my
Oh,
garage.
okay,
It was in a box that we hadn't really
okay,
totally
okay.
unpacked.
So he didn't take it from you. That's fine.
No, he didn't.
All right, shall we talk about the iPhone? Let's talk about the iPhone.
Yeah, let's talk about the
So
iPhone.
iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro Max, iPhone 17 Air. So they're getting rid of the Plus.
Yeah.
They're doing the thin model, the Air, that is going to be a phone characterized by trade-offs in order to achieve that thinness, most likely, like battery life, for example, or like not having as many cameras in the back as the Pro phones. But it's Apple historically in the past decade, they've always struggled with that fourth phone in the lineup. And maybe third time's the charm with this Air. Instead of doing a Mini, instead of doing a Plus, they're now doing the Air. And I mean, also historically speaking, the Air line has worked well for Apple, especially with the MacBook Air.
Yeah.
The iPad Air, I think it's a pretty good and solid iPad overall for a lot of people who want a quasi iPad Pro experience without the overhead of performance and cost of an iPad Pro. So maybe the Air will work on the iPhone. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, I think you're right. I think the airline has done really well over the years for a variety of products. And I think people associate it with something generally that's like lighter, thinner, still good quality, but they expect some trade-offs. I mean, you're not going to get a MacBook Air that looks like a MacBook Pro. It's just not going to have the same kind of things. Same thing goes with the iPad line as well. So I think it has a lot of potential. It's not for me, I don't think. I mean, I don't want anything that has less battery life or an inferior camera. I've just kind of realized that I like having a really good camera and like having all day battery life. And the Pro Max has done that for me. I could see myself at least that I've flirted with the idea of just a standard iPhone Pro the last couple of years. Yeah, a little bit, only because the Pro Max is so big and chunky, and especially like maybe in the summertime when it's warm out and just wearing shorts or something, they kind of drag. It's kind of a pocketful for sure, but I know myself, I'll probably just go with the Pro Max again because I love that battery life and I love those cameras.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm gonna go to the Apple Store, check out the iPhone 17 Air in person. Maybe I'll fall in love with it. Maybe I want to, but I know myself, like I've been down this road before with the iPhone 16 Plus last year. It is nice to use and to hold an iPhone that is lighter and maybe even in more fun colors than a Pro Max. But for me, the single thing that did it was not even necessarily the promotion display. It was the 5x camera. It was like the what's it called? The tetra prism system. I love taking pictures by zooming from far away of my dogs doing something funny. So it's as simple as that. It was the third camera. And I do love me a phone that is huge and thick with a battery that lasts me the whole day, despite my many shenanigans with apps and shortcuts and things that I'm doing with on-device AI on my iPhone. So I'll go with the 17 Pro Max again. if the orange color is a nice orange color, I'll probably try and get the orange. I will be keen to see if the more RAM that is rumored for the 17 Pro and Pro Max will result in any new on-device AI stuff. Because once you get into the 12 gigabyte of RAM sort of scenario, as we have seen on Android, there's plenty more you can do with on-device models. Going from the 3 billion on-device model that current iPhones have with Apple Intelligence, it becomes feasible to run 7 billion parameter models on device with things like 4-bit quantization in 12 gigabytes of RAM. There's plenty of examples of that on Android. So it's going to be interesting to see if this iPhone event is also an opportunity for Apple to say, well, we're making our on-device AI even better on these iPhones because of the more memory that we have. I don't know. But I'm keeping an eye out for that because usually, there's always going to be the software feature, right, that goes alongside the hardware. And I've been thinking, what's it going to be this year? Last year was camera control. What's going to be this time around? I'm sure there's always something for the camera, right? But I think there also needs to be something for AI now. So I don't know.
I mean, look, I think you're right about the memory being something that would be perfect for an updated foundation model. I'm a little skeptical whether they're ready with the new model already at this point, or whether it'll just be something that comes in handy for other companies' AI models, or maybe they do a deal with, maybe Claude comes to the iPhone and Claude takes advantage of that new memory. I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see. This episode of App Stories is brought to you by Factor. Summer often means having a fun but busy schedule. When it comes to eating before heading out again, you might have only a few minutes. This is where Factor can help you out. You can eat smarter with tasty chef-prepared meals that are dietitian approved and delivered right to your door. And now, with more than 65 weekly meals, you can pick what's right for you and have even more ways to fit a real meal no matter where your day takes you. With Factor, you can enjoy more variety and more meals. Choose from a wide selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. And support for your wellness goals, too. Enjoy GLP-1 friendly meals with Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. And you can savor those global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. And more choices for better nutrition. 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter what your routine is. Factor sent me a bunch of meals and I tried them and they were all good. There was a wide variety of things, from cuisines that I had never tried before to old familiar things that I really enjoyed. The thing that was great about it was there are just those days when I didn't have the energy to make dinner. So it was fantastic that I had those Factor meals on hand and could make something that was healthy and quick without a lot of hassle or effort. It prevented me from reaching for my phone and going with unhealthy takeout, which I really appreciate. Eat smart at factormeals.com/appstories50off and use that code appstories50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That code is appstories50off at factormeals.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. This offer is only valid for new Factor customers with the code and a qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Our thanks to Factor for their support of the show.
Okay, so that's iPhone, AirPods, Apple Watch.
Yes.
Do we expect any other accessories? I'm sure there's going to be the debut of the TechWoven line of. Actually, I'll tell you what. I don't hate the look of these leaked TechWoven.
No, I don't hate them either.
It's
I'm
more
just
like a
over
technical
Apple cases.
textile texture, sort of, you know?
Yeah. I'm sort of over cases at this point. I'll have a
Yeah.
case that I'll use when I travel. I tend to like to do that. And sometimes I'll throw a case on in the summer if I'm wearing sometimes shorts or something, the phone likes to slip out of your pocket or something. I'll use that then. But for the most part, I'm done with cases.
It is rumored that we're gonna get supposedly a new Apple TV. I honestly don't know what to expect from a new Apple TV. I think in my apartment, we're surrounded by Apple TVs from 2020 and 2021. I cannot imagine what I would possibly want from a new Apple TV.
I have two Apple TVs, and I think they're both versions of the 4K. I think there were two different 4K ones.
There were two 4K
different
ones.
4K.
Yes.
Yeah, and so the first one is on a TV upstairs in a bedroom, and the newer one is in our living room. And I don't know why you would want a new Apple TV at this point. Of course we could. I mentioned this on Connected. You could get into more Apple TV gaming.
Sure.
But
yeah.
But I'm not sure that that's really a reason to upgrade.
No, you got it. That's
Apple
the
TV.
reason. That is the reason. The gaming.
The gaming. It's
all
about
TV.
The gaming, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the capital G.
Sure.
Apple TV gamers, because there are a lot of those.
Sure.
Look, it could be Apple Intelligence, right?
I mean, but if you're kidding, I actually think that's more realistic.
I do too.
Honestly, Apple TV as a private on-device Apple Intelligence caching server for your home. I have heard worse ideas. I think.
Well, so in the same way that it can be a home hub, you think it could be like an Apple Intelligence hub?
I don't know, sort of, maybe. Why not? I mean, why not?
Yeah. Well, I think that some of the rumors have pointed to, or at least some of the speculation has pointed to, it being there for Siri AI requests, which I don't know. I don't feel the need to be using AI with my TV and the shows I watch.
I don't know, it depends, because sometimes I'm watching and this happens to me frequently. Like last night we were watching Hacks, and Sylvia recognized a guest appearance from an actress, and so and this happens very frequently actually, because she's great with faces of actors. I'm and I usually open ChatGPT or Perplexity in voice mode, and I ask in natural language, hey, in this scene of this episode of this season of this TV show, there's this actor. Can you confirm that this actor also played? Who is it? Did they play in any other movies or TV shows? That sort of natural language query. That could be nice to have. I actually think there are plenty of things that you could do with AI.
I literally never do any of that stuff. I never pull up my phone. I never look up anything while I'm watching TV.
I'm sorry for you. It's your loss.
I'm not criticizing people who do it. I think it's fine. I just don't do it. I wonder what the UI for that would be. Because you don't want to be too disruptive of what people are watching either.
Well, but if you want to know, if you have a question and you want to get an answer, you have to be disruptive. If you really want to know, you gotta know.
But isn't that better on your phone so you can keep watching the show as opposed to popping up? No,
because sometimes I'm chilling in bed and my phone is charging. And because I have to ask the question, let me grab my phone and grab my phone, I don't want to toss and turn and grab my phone and open the thing. Just let me ask the TV.
The lazy Ticci.
Yes, I mean, not as lazy as you, who cannot be bothered to grab a phone and ask a question.
Well, that's true. I won't. I just believe me. I'm checked out when I'm watching TV, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the takeaway. Is there anything else you want to mention about
HomePods, man?
HomePod
Mini. People are talking about a new HomePod Mini with a new chip in it, and I don't think it's needed.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, okay, look.
I mean, AI again, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, look, if there ever was a reason to upgrade these devices with better chips, even though you think they don't need a better chip, that would be on-device Apple Intelligence. Like, that's gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would...
AirTags. Can we talk about AirTags?
We can. I was just gonna say about the HomePod Mini, they're never gonna do it. I would like to have a HomePod Medium, which would be like what I want to have is like a rectangular, like short but wide HomePod that I can slide under my monitor. So something in between, something in between a HomePod Mini and a proper HomePod that is like short but wide. So almost like a, what's it called? The Sonos, the one that you carry around.
The Era 100 or the...
Yeah, but smaller. So like rectangular shaped, but smaller. So something...
They have the Roam.
A bigger Roam, like a bigger Roam. That's sort of the shape that I'm thinking of, but they're not going to do it. So it's fine. What do you want to get from... can I tell you my AirTag story?
I do. I want to hear it.
So about a month ago, we're walking the dogs, and Sylvia tells me, what happened to your AirTag? And I pull up my house keys, and I look at the keychain, and the AirTag is gone. I'm like, oh no, it's gone. It's like, there you go. You're always losing stuff. Because I do, because I'm clumsy like that. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. So I went into the Find My, and I sort of, you know how you can mark something as lost? And you can leave a little message. And I wrote a message in Italian, because I saw that the AirTag was like at somebody's house 10 minutes away from here.
Oh, it wasn't near your house.
No, it was like 10 minutes away from here in a neighborhood that I actually know. But like in a random street, shown on the map, like in a building. And I'm like, I'm not going to go there by myself and knock on someone's door to rescue my AirTag. You know, I probably wouldn't even do it. I don't know. I would probably do it from my phone. But with the help of, I don't know, the authorities, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go to the police for an AirTag, and I'm not gonna go by myself for an AirTag. So I'm just gonna
for your 30 euro AirTag.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna mark it as lost and leave a message. I gave up on that AirTag 2 weeks ago. It's like in the middle of August. Nobody is in Rome because everybody's vacationing. It was very quiet. One of my favorite times to be in Rome in the summer when everybody's gone. So we're walking the dogs. I turn a corner, right next to my building.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Ginger, right? So Silva's walking Zelda in front of me. I'm behind, walking on a leash Ginger. And so I'm looking down to see what Ginger is doing. As we're walking, I see a shiny Apple logo on the ground. And I'm like, hey, did somebody lose an AirTag? I flip it over with my foot, with my shoe. Like I flip it over. I see that it is an AirTag, and it has these faint red marks on it. And I'm like, wait a second. Is that my AirTag? Because my AirTag had slight discoloration from my red keychain. I pick it up from the ground. I place it close to my phone, and it gets recognized as my AirTag.
Amazing.
I am not kidding. This happened. So our theory is that somebody realized that AirTag couldn't be paired with anything else. They maybe were kind enough to drive by my neighborhood and throw it on the sidewalk?
Throw it out the window?
I think they did. I actually think they did. Because
they were worried you were going to come and get them, is what they were worried about.
We found it on the sidewalk by the corner of my building.
That's so weird.
It's so weird.
But
at least I got my AirTag back.
How much time was it between the time you realized it was missing and when it showed up on the sidewalk?
20 days? Almost 3 weeks? Like, I totally gave up on it. It was gone.
Wow.
Every once in a while, I would Find My. I would see that it was still, there in the other neighborhood, and like, fine. Who knows what they're gonna do with it? And then it turned up again. So weird.
Yeah, it survived the weather and the elements and everything.
So weird. Anyway, that was my AirTag.
They survived pretty well. I put them through the laundry. You know me, I like to put things through the laundry.
Anyway, what was your AirTag wish before we go?
I'm excited about the prospect of AirTags too, because the rumors are that it will have ultra wideband.
Nice.
And look, I leave my keys all over the house. I leave my glasses all over the house. I have AirTags inside my glasses case, and I can't always tell where they are because I live on 3 floors and I may be standing in the living room and it may be telling me they're 10 feet away, but they're not 10 feet away. They're 10 feet away vertically. They're in my bedroom above my head. So ultra wideband, yeah, I absolutely want that. And we'll buy a bunch of these for things like my keys, things like my, my glasses cases. I don't think I'll do it for my luggage probably, but yeah, I will definitely do it for some of these smaller items that I use with AirTags.
Oh yeah. Time to upgrade all the AirTags. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the Pro Show for AppStories Plus members, John wants to talk about UI design on macOS Tahoe and what's going on. What's going on with design criticism from Mac users? So we're gonna be talking about.
You know what? You're completely ignoring the Mac users who are all pining for the Mac Pro to show up at one of these fall events, Federico. We didn't talk about our thoughts and feelings about the Mac Pro.
Yes. You can find our show notes at appstories.net. I want to thank our 2 sponsors this week. That's Claude and Factor.
Yes.
You can find us on social media. You can just search for John Boris and Ticci. Those are John's full name and my last name, respectively. You can just find us everywhere. Also, shout out to MacStories Deals, a recent John Voorhees creation that is taking the world of social media by storm. If you're not following MacStories Deals on Mastodon and Blue Sky, you're really missing out. Until next time, John, say goodbye.